Okay, welcome to the fourth and also fifth session of Train the Trainer. We didn't have one yesterday because people were really tired and we had some strict timetables because of the cable car yesterday. So we'll be having the fourth one, which is the activity card presentations now. This won't probably take 2 hours, probably something like 1:45 or something, but we will see. But if we need to, we will be here for 2 hours. We will have today many topics because of this, and actually quite a lot of you will be on the stage today. So let's get into it. Or not. Please? Yeah. So today we will kick in with the activity card presentations. I have asked every team to prepare a presentation, and I hope that every team on Kirk Island has one. After that, we will continue with the presentations by YOTA teams Finland, Japan, and Serbia. The topics are highly varying and very interesting today, so I suggest you have good attention to the all presentations we have today. After that, what we will be beginning, we will begin to write the reports from YOTA summer camp. So you will have about half hour or more, if we have more, time to write your reports from the summer camp. So you will have actually something done before the camp has even ended completely. So you don't have to start from blank space after the camp. Okay, and as always, if you have any questions, please ask. And we have the guest microphone here as well. So please wait so I bring it to you during the presentation.
Regarding the reports, I'm wondering if everyone here is okay with their call sign being used in the reports. In the sense that maybe I said, oh, I had a fun interaction with this person. Would they be okay with, is that allowed?
Yeah, I can ask that. So, does anyone have anything against their call signs being published in some team's report? Please raise your hand if you have anything against it. Yes, by that I should just know. So, the first thing today is the activity card presentations. So, you will present your activity cards to everyone. Each presentation will take about 5 minutes, or that's asked, but if you're quicker, be quicker, and please don't take more than about 7-8 minutes so we can be on the timetable. You can decide yourself, or I hope that you decide already, if one from your team will be presenting the cards, or if the whole team will be here. But yeah. Also, a reminder for everyone to send the cards. I haven't got every one of them yet, but I asked you to send them after this presentation, so or this session of Train the Trainer. They don't need to be in like exact form that I sent you. Just send me like a text, and I will edit it to the form. So you don't have to make it like the example that you had looked like. I can make it look like that. So that's not a problem. Don't put time on that. So we'll be starting. Yes, I think I ran out of battery, or not. Yeah. So we will going group by group. So first we'll be starting first team from group Francis. I know that the team doesn't have 1 or 2, so just like if you want to go first, go first. If you didn't go first, well, then you go second. So please do that with every group. And yeah, so I would first ask here from group Francis, the first team to present their activity card.
Hello, everyone. We have prepared a game called Hammerization, or Hammerization, I guess. It's basically just memory game with ham radio related pairs of cards. And it's for ages 5 to 100, depending on which packs you use. The game can be modified for any age or level of experience. So there's different types of packs, such as phonetic alphabet, CW, could be anything, DX Islands, Q codes, just anything really. Just get creative. You can mix them, you can do anything. And yeah, you basically just need a pack or packs of the original game or a pen and paper to write them on. And it will probably take about 10 to 30 minutes. Participants, probably best to have 1 to 6, but could work with more, I guess. But maybe split the group in 2 or something. And I think everyone has played the normal game, so you spread all the cards upside down on the table and mix them and then put them in their places, and one at a time just pick pairs from that pile or table. And if it's a matching pair, the player gets to keep the cards to themselves as points and continue until the 2 cards that they pick aren't matching anymore. And then it's the next player's turn. And when all the pairs have been found, you count everyone's points, and the winner is the one with the most points.
Yes. So now we have the first team here already. Have you any questions? No. Yeah, regular memory game it is. Thank you. Yeah, now we have broke the ice and it's not too much pressure for the next team. So I will now ask here the presentators or presenter from the second Francis team.
So we have prepared a simple game. It's called the call signs on the foreshed game. It's people hide behind trees, and whistle blows. They hide their foreheads, and each time the whistle blows again, they have to shift trees, so they change trees. And the other players need to see the call sign of the other person, and if they call it out correctly, they eliminate the other person and goes, and it's last man or woman standing.
Yes. Also, yes, the rules. Also, the age is everything from 8 years old to 50 years old, because it must be a little bit running and faster to change the tree or someone else to hide the call sign. He probably a little bit experience in radio to say the call sign. Yes, participants probably more than 10, because if there are more 3, he needs some people who change the tree, and maybe more than 10 is good. There are a supervisor too. He soffiare. Yeah, he make the whistles every 10 or 5 seconds. And true supervisor that when a guy say the other call sign, also go and check the correct call sign. And yes, that's it. Any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and as you can see from this game as well, or activity as well, a lot of these activities could include something like practicing phonetic alphabet, or maybe you could use like phonetic alphabet from different countries to learn it while playing the games, or learn numbers from different countries as well. So, Group Penkala, please raise your hands. And so let's have Elin here first.
Okay guys, this is really rough draft of this, but we actually have 3 different ideas. So the first one is just called the whisper game, and it basically means, you know, when you're around, everyone knows the game where you sit around and you have a sentence or a word and you whisper it around, and then at the end it says it aloud and you go like, oh, that's completely wrong. And you can do the same thing with only one key and a speaker or a headphones for CW, for example. So, and you can vary the levels based on the person's knowledge as well. And you can even make it a contest, as in you can have maybe, let's say, one key here and then one key here, and then they are in different rooms. So you have maybe 4 people in this whisper row and 4 people in this whisper row, and they kind of take turns on, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically the first person says, type something out. Second person says, oh, I think it's this. Second person takes the first person's place. Third person comes in, and then the second person types it out. Third person goes, oh, I think it's this. Goes around. Fourth person comes in and is like, oh, it's this. And then they actually, you can make it a contest if you have 2 teams doing the same thing and see which one has the most errors. So that's the first idea. The next idea is actually comes from, well, it was something that I participated in America, YOTA Region 2 online in 2020, and I would call it pub quiz call signs, or call sign pub quiz, where you basically have to record a bunch of different call signs in either on the radio or something, and then you add them all up together, and then you can add noise on top of it, and fake ones as well, and you basically have people write down what call signs they think that they catch, and then you compare and see. And this was actually a really difficult competition. And then they have different levels, and you can have varying. For example, I did really well with the European call signs because they always have the letters first. And I sucked at the American call signs because they have November 1 and then some other letters as well. And this can also be very good for different levels. You can do slow call signs, you can do fast one, you can do CW in there as well with different words per minute. So it's completely up to you how you would make this game. And it doesn't require a lot of equipment, except it just requires a bit of preparation with either getting your friend to help you record some different call signs basically over the radio. And the last one is kind of, you can vary it a little. It's just basic key, teaching children basic key use. So starting at level 1 and up to level 5 or something like that. So it's basically let's say you have 2 sets of keys that have a speaker. And you teach a child to go, level 0 is to teach the child how to use the key and make the noises. And then you say, okay, you make a random noise. The next person has to copy your noise and then make their own random noise to confirm. And then you have to copy their random noise and you put your own random noise to kind of finish the call sign. So that's kind of the first thing. And then you can level it up. You can actually teach them their age, for example, and then they do H, so H1, and then, person 2 goes H1, H2, and then the person number 1 goes H2, H1, so that is the confirmed QSO. And then you can, up it by teaching them the letters, or you can make it sort of a contest in the sense that it's kind of like how you have press the button type of thing. So it's basically you give the children their own call signs, and then and then there's one transmitter that would transmit the call sign itself, and then the person that recognizes their call sign that they have been given beforehand, maybe something simple like 1 alpha, 1 beta, 1 Charlie or something like this, they would have to either raise their hand or race to the key to actually confirm the call's QSO. That's kind of our 3 suggestions. Are there any questions?
Yeah, and I know that there are also other groups teams that have multiple ideas. So if you want to use the time, you can of course explain the others also. I will want to have one idea ready on email, but there's nothing against that you could send 5 ideas. I will be actually really happy if I get 5 ideas. So yeah. Okay, then the second team from Group Bengala and Group Tesla, please prepare. Okay, Group Bengala, please raise your hands. Okay, and Michael comes, or his team.
So, great minds think alike, and we also made an phonetic alphabet memory game. Okay, sorry. It's for mostly people getting started on ham radio or CW, or just for, I guess anybody could do it, but mostly for people getting started. Thing with the memory game is it's very flexible, so you can do CW, you can do the phonetic alphabet, you can do prefixes, whatever you like. We played it and it took us like 10 minutes. We made also the beta version of the cards. They're quite light, so we can't show them because they will fly away. Basically, you just pick your topic. We picked phonetic alphabet. You write the things on paper, you cut them out, you put them upside down and play.
Like, we are sorry, but we have like exactly the same idea, like the first presentation. So, yeah. So,
It was a good idea, though.
yeah.
Yeah, this was one thing that I was expecting maybe to have, but at least we know now it's a good idea. And as they said, it has you can really change easily what you have in the game. You can also like even with this have like language involved somehow, because for some people learning languages is a big part of being a ham radio operator, because it's a good hobby to actually learn new languages. Okay, and first from Group Tesla then.
Hello everybody, I'm Hamza from the United Kingdom, and together with the teams from France and Lithuania, we came up with this idea. So, who here has their own QSL card? Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands.
I actually do too.
Okay, it's about 50-50. So this activity is for the half of all of you and any age group who can use a pen and paper, essentially. So a kid up to age 100, maybe more. The activity is what is a QSL card and how to make one, and we are going to make one in the activity. So the equipment we require is paper and a pen, different color pens, you know, a little bit of color in the QSL cards. The length of the activity could scale, basically, depending on how much you want to do about the presentation and how much time you'll give for people to make their QSL cards. So an ideal length maybe would be half an hour, 10-minute presentation with about 20 minutes for people to make their own card and then, you know, share them at the end. Topics to cover in the presentation would be what is a QSL card? What does QSL actually mean? Why do we use QSL cards? And we'll show some pictures of QSL cards.
And also what's on the QSL card as well.
Absolutely. What does a QSL card have? What do you write on it? What does what do you write the call sign, or what do you include? Yeah, and what's the reason people use QSL cards? Do you do them to collect them or to confirm QSOs, etc.? So just explaining what is a QSL card and what do they look like. Yes, a question?
You could probably make a simplified QSL card and then exchange them after an off-air contest.
That's a very, very good idea. So the suggestion was make a simple QSL card and exchange them after an off-air contest. So, I mean, this kind of activity can be combined with multiple activities like an off-air contest, which it seems like everybody enjoys, so you could do it after. I mean, it's a great activity for any youth, really. So who uses QSL cards? Like, who sends them? Do you send them direct? Put your hands up. or do you use bureau? Put your hands up. Okay, it's again about 50-50. So we'll explain what is direct and what is bureau, what do they mean, how you use them, etc. And then finally, design your own QSL card. At the very end as well, it seemed like the topic for this YOTA, a big one, was sustainability. So at the end, we can talk about, should we use paper or should we use digital QSL cards? And we wouldn't talk about it in the main session, but for another session, we could talk about what is eQSL, what is Logbook of the World, etc., 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 and link that with digital QSLs. So that's it. I'll pass it over to my colleagues over here from Lithuania and France if they want to add anything.
No.
Okay, that was fast. I mean, Hamza just summed it up like really well. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have anything else to add, but yeah, the thing about Logbook of the World and eQSL seems pretty relevant. Yeah, as to me, I tried to do QSL cards myself, and since I don't have an efficient printer and I can do like hundreds and thousands of QSL cards, I mean, that's pretty cool to have a custom one, but then you maybe need to think something else to some other printer, or yeah, but to do your own QSL card, it's a little bit like you do one just for testing, and then if you're like really sure you want to go on full paper, you want to go a little bit more professional on this. So that's why I'll prefer like to do like LLTW and eQSL things. Thank you so much for your attention.
And yes, and as you see, you can always combine creativity with ham radio. And then group Tesla number 2.
So, who here has played Battleships? Quite many. The one of you who has not, do it. It's really fun. So, we had planned maybe you could play Battleships over radio. So, Battleships, I will just do a brief explanation for the ones of you who has not played it. It's the game where you have a 10 by 10 square, and you get to place your ships on this square, and then the other player has a 10 by 10 square and is supposed to find your ships and blow them up. So you do this on one paper, and then the other one also does it the opposite. So both of you places ships and destroy ships. So we were thinking maybe you could do this over the air, so that you have a coordinate system, and then you have handhelds in different varieties. You could use PMR handhelds, you could use 2-meter handhelds if the people are licensed, or if there is some kind of way to go around that kind of certificate bit when doing it for showing amateur radio. So we were thinking that you could have a normal battleship game, and then you say the words and stuff over radio. But then when you have like past the point where you're only playing battleships, you could also make it a little bit harder. So you could have multiple games playing on the same frequency, maybe using some kind of made-up call sign or call signs if they are using amateur radio, and then you could practice some traffic management. You could maybe change the letters in the coordinate systems so that you have, like for one coordinate system could be like normal Alpha to Juliet and 1 to 10, and then you could have one that is Juliet to the letter that is 10 away from Juliet, and the other one could be maybe something else, so that you mix up the coordinate system so that you also get to practice the phonetic alphabet. So we were thinking of this as an 12 years plus activity. So because it can be a little hard both with the coordinate system to understand them, and also with the part of, if you implemented traffic management and that stuff. So we thought of it like as a 12 years plus activity, but it could maybe maybe be done with younger ones as well, if they maybe if they know how to play battleships, for example, for instance, then the new parts are quite few. Did I miss anything? They shake their heads. Great. Yeah, I have a question from Tango Foxtrot. And now Tango Foxtrot has a microphone.
It's not a question. It's just more. I look forward to like 2030 World Radio Battleship contest. Championship. Yeah. It might become really big.
So what Elin said is she's looking forward to the 2030 Radio Battleships contest. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we end up at HF and run it on 20 meters. Yeah, you could also do it in CW if you want to add one more step to it. I've heard people playing chess on CW, so I mean it shouldn't be impossible.
Yeah, you're done.
I'm done.
You're done. Thank you, Gustav. So next we have the last final group. Two teams from Group Boskovic. Please, Group Boskovic, first one, raise your hands.
Yes, so I can present, but basically I don't have to present anything because our idea has been presented by another team. Seems like it's quite a thing. We called it call sign war. It was basically the idea that you will put the call sign on your forehead, for example, with such stickers, and you have two teams, and you try to, shout at the other groups. It's like, I would say, also some sort of paintball, but just with shouting and using some call signs. And yeah, we just had the same idea. It was completely new to me. I never heard of this before, so I was quite surprised that it seems like to be a thing in some other countries. Right now, since some of our teammates were quite unhappy, they had another idea for maybe trying to fox hunt, where some people have receivers and others are the foxes themselves, and they just go into the forest and they can try to find each other. So one group with the ARDF transceivers and the others with the transmitters. And once they found each other, they just switch equipment and then try to find the other persons. So that was just like a quick idea we had. We have never thought of it a little bit closer, but yeah, just another fun idea to also come up with something new at least. Any questions? Okay. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, and this way you can see that ham radio operators are innovative persons. They have 50 minutes and they already came up with a new idea. And please, if you want, please send me an activity card for that one. Thank you. And then we have the final group for the activity card presentations, which is second from Group Boskovic.
So we have a game that's called Tube SO, so from QSO to Tube SO, because we're using tubes and cut holes in them. So one is talking and the others are listening. And it's to time from 20 minutes up, so it's like open end. And also for those who have a little it's just learning how to do a QSO. So you have different things you have to say in the tube, and the other ones are listening and have to draw it or write it down. And like 1 minute or 2 minutes, we make a rotation, and the other one is talking and the others are listening. So there's like 5 holes in them in this tube, and it's a practice to do the QSOs and also do listening practice. So I hope I didn't miss something. That's it. Yeah. Just on the ground, and I think we made it to 4 to 10 meters. I don't know how long, because if it's too long, you can't hear it anymore. So if this happens, those who are sitting on the side and listening to the holes, they can be the repeater and tell the last one what the first one said. So that's the idea. Any questions?
No, I was just more thinking if you have longer holes, you could maybe have whistles through it, or someone could, whistle in CW or something.
Yeah, like there's many ideas we can do, and also different things they have to do, like either QSOs or explaining something and they have to draw it, or it's just like the listening stuff and practicing what you say, and when you practice this through the tube, you may be more confident to do it on the radio.
So you would sometimes crumple the paper to make some sort of...
Yeah. We also said we bend the tube or something, or make some noise, or to make it a little difficult.
Any more questions? Thank you. And this was the last presentation, and we still have Joel from Team Sweden to add something to their battleships. Maybe dates for the World Championships? Who sees?
Oh yeah, I hope we will have some dates for the World Championships soon, but you all got to try it out. But it was just a little thought I had, which came up during our presentation, that what we essentially did was take an already existing game and apply it to ham radio. And I'm sure all of you, or many of you, have games that you like to play that probably are applicable. You can use them in ham radio. You can have fun and include ham radio in it. So give it a little thought, and you might come up with something that you can have fun with. So you have your game that you like, and now you also can include your hobby in it. So it was just a little thought from me. I hope you found it good. Thank you.
And that's it for the activity card presentations. Please, if you have a written card, give it to me so I will take pictures of it, or just send me the pictures. And if you have it written somewhere else, please just send me some kind of text file or something. Okay? Yeah. And next, we will go to the first presentation of the day, after which we will have a short break. First, we will have YOTA Team Finland to present us about radio scouts and their potential, including also something about YOTA Yoti. They will go through the similarities of hams and scouts in order to show why scouts have a lot of potential. They will also tell about how to reach radio scouts in your own country. Please welcome Henny OS1 Kosira and Nutti OS1 Uniform Bravo Oscar to the stage.
Hello friends, again. Today we're here to talk about the Scouts. Do we have any other Scouts here today? Please raise your hand. Quite a few, yeah, cool. How many of us knows a Scout? A few more. How many of us knows a radio Scout? Yeah, there's a bunch. Cool. Scouts are a worldwide youth movement with around 60 to 70 million members in 218 different countries. So there are a lot. And then you can compare it with about 3 million hams. I found that somewhere. I don't know if it's correct, but it's still a lot less than the Scouts. And then we have this annual event called YOTA Yoti, Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet, which gathers over 2 million people annually every October to practice ham radio and something with the internet. I don't know about that stuff. I'm not interested. And then you can compare that with the numbers of CQ Worldwide with 35,000 participants. So it's a bit bigger. And Scouts, I think, have a lot of potential to amateur radio. There's a lot of young people who are open to new experiences and would be more than happy to have something like this in their program. And I'm sure there's a lot of helpful, open-minded people who are also happy to organize things with you. So you only really need the idea and introduce the concept to them, and they're probably be like, yes, perfect, we have the location, we have this and that and that, can you do your thing? And that's it. Of course it needs some planning and contacts and stuff, but we'll get to that later. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to tell about how we do this in practice in my country. So YOTA is the main event annually for Radio Scouts. We have about 10 to 15 troops, local troops, which organize YOTA events with radios. There are of course more troops with who focus only in the internet part. We have also one troop which organizes regularly a course for ham radio course, and then we have also many camps. We have a national jamboree every 6 years, and it was this year. It was called Kako 2022, and then we have also smaller ones on district and local levels. But okay, I was on the camp national jamboree this year, and I have some listed some problems here which we faced, and I'm going to tell you about how we managed those problems. So the first problem is that we didn't have really enough organizers before the camp, but then we thought that we can invite non-scout hams to the camp, and also non-ham scouts, so non-licensed scouts to work there. And then we had some international guests taking part in the camp, so they were also welcome to work at the station. Okay, the second problem was that how to get the scouts to visit the station, and the solution was that we need some kind of bait to get people in. And scouts love badges, so we made some badges, and we said that when you do 5 activities at the station, you get 1 badge.
Can you just shortly explain what was happening at the camp? Like, what did you have there? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good question. So the National Jamboree, Kako 2022, was a camp of 8 days long, and we have had about 13,000 participants there. And yeah, we had a radio station there. Do you want to know more? That's okay.
Or maybe just, you know, I was at the camp as well, so I'm like biased, but like there was this task, like you said, but the thing is that there was this tent with the station, but I think Nuti will tell more.
Okay, yeah. The next question, this might tell a bit more about it. So the location of the station was a problem too. At first, the camp organization thought that we are going to be in some program area away from everybody, so that nobody will visit the station. But then we had some discussions about the location of our station with the organization, and we got more central location so that people will pass by the station and visit it. Okay, and then the last problem: if someone is interested, how do we get them to start with the hobby? And we've actually scheduled a ham radio course this October, starting in October, and we were getting a taking email addresses from all the people who were showing interest in the course and starting ham radio. And I think we have around 15 names on the list. So I think we might get over 10 new ham radio operators this autumn. Okay, that's all from me.
Yeah, and I can just briefly tell that in that local scout troop where, well, I originally come from and Noti almost comes from, will be coming from, there was this one really old ham that just got these 5 little kids to supervise for one day, and he didn't really know what to do with them, so he just took them to his station, and they all got licensed after that. And then the word spread, and now we're hams. So now we have, I think, around 30 hams in our local troop, and will be a lot more, hopefully. And how do you reach the scouts? Well, there is probably a lot of differences between countries and areas, so you just try and find the local troop and send them an email or something else, whatever contact information you found. And if you can't find any contact information to the local troop, you can probably just reach to the national organization.
I wanted to ask how many actually hams you get to become a scout. Do you have any like older hams that are like, hey, this is cool, I want to become a radio scout now, and work with them, like, because it goes vice versa?
Yes, that is a very good question, and I think we've had around 3 to 4 hams to become scouts, so that's really good. So we have some old people who actually have done the ham radio thing for a while and know what they're doing and help the young people, so that's really good and effective. Usually the old people don't have a lot to do, so they like to help out. And yeah, so you just go to the local troop or national organization, whatever, and introduce the concept and inform them that you're interested in working with them. And they're really likely, at least in Finland, everyone would be thrilled to have some extra program so they don't have to come up with that themselves. And it would be good to try and form a more long-term relation with the scouts, so there would be some continuing cooperation between you and them. But yeah, I think that's all for now. Do you have any questions?
Hello, yeah. It's more of a request. So our local club in London, we've had quite a few emails from scouts to our club saying, we want to come to your radio club, can we do some activities with you? So they've actually approached our club. And also just this week actually, our team, some scouts reached out to the youth coordinator of the RSGB, which came down to us, and they want to do some activities too. So I know we've shared some activities we can do here in the previous Train the Trainer session, but I was wondering if you could share your, because I know did you organize the camp? Yeah? Yeah. So I was wondering if you could like share the schedule like we have here of what you did, just to give us some ideas, and I can share that with my club too and other clubs around the local area, because we have a lot of scouts who are interested in radio, but when they come to us, we're like, what do we do with them, you know? So yeah, just a request.
Yeah, that's actually really great that they've contacted you. That's amazing. So you actually have youth coming to you for for this. Yeah, it's pretty much here works with scouts. I would say that from my experience, scouts and young amateurs are pretty similar minded, so whatever works here works with them. But yeah, I think you can definitely share something. Yep.
Yeah. So I think you can find some more ideas from your national scout program. Every country has their own program, so there might be some radio-related activities you can find. But I think, yeah, at the national chamber, I think all the activities were quite same we have had here, or the ideas that were told before. So I don't really have any extra right now. Okay.
Yeah, one very traditional one we've used with smaller kids is the Lego game. That was the example from, yeah, we were actually going to do that, but then we saw the example and oh, well. Yeah. Anyone else? No? Well, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry and Nuti. And one thing I actually have to say about activities that could be on the scout camps, because I was myself also on the scout camp Kajo, just making sure that everything works correctly on the station. So you could, example, have some kind of Morse code related activities, maybe trying to receive like really slow Morse code, transmitting your own name, transmitting maybe like the name of your local troops or something like that. Just a few ideas to name. I hope you will at least get some ideas. And yeah, thank you. What we have next is that we have our Year Region 3 visitors from Japan telling about online platform or online youth ham meeting that they invented during COVID-19 pandemic. The platform, what it's about? It's about youth holding presentations for other youth, youngsters. They will talk about various presentations that they had, as well as about the challenges that they faced during the progress. To talk to you about this, I will invite Mizuki, Japan Echo 6, Whiskey Uniform Delta to the stage. Please welcome him.
There you go. If you want to, you can use it. Just use the app. Or just press that.
Hello everyone from Japan. I'm Mizuki Yamasaki, Juliet Echo 6 Whiskey Uniform Delta, and I want to talk about our youth activities about online presentation platform. So this is a presentation about presentation. Yes, this is today's summary, and as we know, we got a huge damage from COVID-19. So, and we are still in danger. And the restriction for people's moving in Asian country were much more restricted than the European one. People still wearing a mask in public place, even in we departed Japan. Everywhere, there are limitations about how can I say people, about public places, and we couldn't find any places for meeting together. Not a virtual one, at real. So we couldn't hold a real meeting and can't gather in 2022. The target of the online youth ham meeting was to fill the gap between the youngster located in various parts of in Japan and cannot gather at that time, and also to meet online and to get new friends. You might didn't know, but the prices of transporting in Japan is very high, much more than Europe one. So this event for the youth, younger ham, cannot pay much money to attend the Tokyo Ham Fair or Osaka's one. Yes. We saw the way how to encourage and stimulate youth in either with him or herself and came up with how about to set a place on online to ask active youth hams about his or her project. It's not a closed platform, but it was a broadcast to everywhere on YouTube. We thought that broadcasting presentation by youths is a good way to notice the old man. There is an old man who don't have any interest in youth activities, but there is a youth. There is also a old man who interested in youth activity, but someone might didn't know what youth is doing. So we attended about youth ham meeting online. So how we planned and ran this event? The project member was consisted by mainly university students gathered by various parts of Japan. Someone didn't met each other yet, even in 2022. Now, YOTA Japan is the only youth organization present in Japan, but it was just built a few years ago. So this is the first event after the COVID-19 pandemic. After the YCP program, youth contesting program, before the COVID-19, we held a youth YCP program, but it can't be held. So this is the first program, or after the COVID-19. The first event was held in the May 2021, and the platform was a Zoom, Zulu Oscar Mike, Zoom, and YouTube Live. We made a definition of, We made a definition of participants of 3 parts. 1 is the presenter, only for youth, and 2 is the youth participant. The presenter was a youth under the age of 26 or student under 13, open for doctor course or overage student. And second one is the youth participant. There also everyone wants to come in and also to age 20, also same age, and join the Zoom session and can speak and ask to presenter really. The third one is observer, known as a pre-registration for all age, and they watch YouTube Live and comment in chat. And we picked up and ask presenter. There are two different platforms, Zoom and YouTube Live. So we use OBS Studio. It's free for use and that's high-spec PC to combine with. And this is free. And we got a Zoom preferential treatment under the working of COVID-19. So we have not pay for much money. We only pay for we didn't pay not anything. Here's the screenshot of the YouTube Live. You can see presenter screen, title, and YouTube chat and Zoom chat, and Twitter one, hashtag tweets. They are combined. On the event, we had two main parts and subparts of for ice breaking. The part 1 was for use presentator and its streamed, and the part 2 was for use virtual eyeball. And it was only in Zoom, so didn't stream. Ice breaking was a game, and we offered prizes for the winner, like kits of QRP solving tools. One of the ice break was a pie-up game, and how many stations you can listen from SSB signal or recorded before. One was the online contest used by meeting to on browser, and you can moved and QSO in battery. And also we had a special presentation by Delta Kilo 6 Sierra Papa Philip about talking YOTA IR Region 1's activity with English interruption. Interpretation. For preparation and activities we recruited about active use ham on Twitter and invite university club station. So at the result, the 5 individuals and 6 club stations were gathered. And also we had asked to the internet ham radio news, and the article yes and the result, about 220 youth applicants on Zoom and 80 observers on YouTube live streaming maximum. The archive stream got over 1,500 views in YouTube. Here's some example for presentation by youth. He presented about his CubeSat view by OWN, and it has a unique antenna. Other presentation tells you about field operation, his field operation with his experiences. And this one is presented by University Club Station, Tohoku University, and they report about club activities. What did he made in contest, or what did also the main topic was activities in COVID-19. Over the event, we achieved that to gather various youth hams from all over the Japan, from various age. The youngest one was a junior high, and oldest one was a already worked man, and 26. And we succeed to offer for use the place in spite with each other. We noticed that potential demand for online events is existing. So we decided to hold the same event after the event, and held in 2021's autumn and 2022. Now preparing for the 4th Youth Ham meeting, the restriction of Japanese one is now getting weak, but we decided to hold a online event and real one in parallel, because there is a demand for meeting in online. We are welcome for your participation in the next event. If you're interested in, please ask me, and I'll give you information. Thank you. Do you have a question? Do you have any question?
Hi, I have questions about what your activity between the youngsters are in between events. Like, do you make friends in the event and you talk together online or something, or is it more? Do they just meet on the event itself?
Yeah, about. So you mean who joined as a youngster?
No, I mean you have an event, people meet up, and then after the event, do they keep being friends, and do they talk maybe on Discord, or do they talk on Messenger, or is there activity between them?
Yes, I know some example. The relationship, someone attend. We held a 3-time event at 3 times, and someone became a repeater, and someone didn't come. But the relationship, I believe that relationship still existing. I know. Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Next, we will have the final presentation for the time today, and it's brought to you by YOTA Team Serbia. We should always listen to those who have experience in organizing some activities, so Team Serbia for sure has that experience. So this is an important topic to everyone who has to have something similar to YOTA camps, but probably a little smaller in their own country, or maybe have sub-regional camps someday, for example. So please, to tell you about this, we will have here Ljubomir, Yankee Uniform 5, Echo Alpha. Please welcome him to stage.
Hi guys, my name is Ljuba, YO5 EEA, Youth Coordinator in Serbian Amateur Radio Union, and let me tell you something how this started. This started after our first participation in YOTA Italy 2015, so we decided to make some YOTA style camps in Serbia, national. So this is the result. Okay, yeah, this is first one, 2016, 2017, 18, this is not the whole crew, 19, a lot of people. So yeah, we have a lot of experience about this. We learned through years, and let me explain you how to do this. Organizer. Because our union is not country financed, we needed some co-financers and co-organizers. So main organizer is our union, SRS, and youth working group that we made a few years ago. So we as youth working group, we are selecting co-organizer. They are coming to us with location, info about accommodation and other stuff. We are selecting participants. We want to select good participants, and not all participants need to be member of SRS and possibly have a license. So in Serbia, we try to leave attracting young people to clubs. So they are attracting new people, making courses, and they make tests for ham licenses. And after that, they are coming to our camp to learn something new and to get better at their skills. Finances. Our union get finances like it's 100,000 to 200,000 dinars. It's not much. It's around 1,500 euros. We also make most of the program as a youth working group. We know what to do. We have experience about the program, what is interesting. We try to contact the sponsors, equipment, money, whatever they can do. We also do media coverage. We have a Facebook group. We have our website, SRS's website. We have a really good contact with national TV station. So every camp we have coverage on prime time national TV. And for co-organizers, we usually select local clubs or group of hams that are ready to organize something like this. So they are on-ground coordinators, local coordinators. They are talking to accommodation, organizing transportation, and they are co-financers. They give some of the money, usually around 1,000 or 2,000 euros. Okay, plan. We start planning around 6 months before the camp because there is always some unexpected stuff. Date and duration, around 5 to 7 days. End of June. Why? Because it's end of school year and we have a window of around 10 to 15 days to organize this before everybody goes to vacation. So we start planning around January, just after New Year's. Location, preferably in nature. Some forests, some camps, mountains, whatever, away from cities. So this is good for antennas. There is no QRM. And we are looking for nice antenna space, clear areas without trees, hilltops. Participants. Most of our participants come with cars. Parents, guys from their club come with them by car. Some of them come by bus, and we organize car transportation from bus station to location where camp is held. Special diets, we actually don't have a lot of guys that are on special diet, so I just put it in case you need it. Yeah, program. Workshops, we try to make it interesting. A lot of stuff like contesting, soldering, ARDF, HST, antenna building. It's really important that it's hands-on. Try to do it like not a lot of theory. It's boring. We try to do real contesting, soldering, and other stuff. Usually we have a really good shack, donated equipment for borrowed equipment for use. And during one camp we had a contest station, Yankee Tango 9 X-ray, near our hotel. So we visited it and operated it. Free time. This is really important. Free time is really important because when there is no free time, participants can't rest. And during free time, we organize some sports, football, basketball, and that's a really good way to socialize, learn others' names. Sightseeing. Sightseeing. Usually because we are in nature, there are a lot of sightseeing, and we had a few visits to some caves, some beautiful natural reserves, and for this you should contact your local or national tourist organization, because in 99% of the time they will give you free tickets to visit everything, like museums and anything. They will give you everything free. Budget. Total is around 300 euros. For that we can organize around 60 places, full breakfast, lunch and dinner for around like 6 days. So yeah, budget is from our association, co-organizers, and we have a lot of hams that have private businesses that give some donations, so we can organize this. Write a timetable on back of the accreditation. That is really important, because nobody know when is lunch and everything. You can't learn it. You learn it like 5th day, but on first 3 days everybody is in chaos. During workshops, you should, when you're doing soldering, you should separate beginners and experts in soldering, so 2 different groups, or younger and older guys. For DIY workshops and soldering, you should order from JLC PCB, really good service, or PCB Way, write that up because it's really cheap. And parts you can order from LCSC. That's a Chinese stuff, so it's good enough. Let me see. Yeah, order it a few months in advance, because we had one problem organizing YOTA camp that didn't ended well. We didn't get parts in time. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, I'm not a really good public speaker, so give me some questions. I will answer it.
How do you make friends with the local media? Like, how do you get them interested in this? Because for a lot of people, it's just, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we just go to them and say, hey, we have something for you. Because they actually don't have much program, so they can fill it up. On national TV, we have a prime time, during news, during some programs that are related to culture.
Again, with the media coverage, how do you promote something like ham radio in 1 or 2 minute segments? Do you which angle do you go for? Do you go technical hobby? Do you go STEM careers? Do you go youth youth working together? Like, what angle?
Emergency communication, because most people in Serbia know ham radio from NATO bombing 1999, so they remember that. So every time we talk about it, they know that's it. I don't know how to answer it differently, so.
That's good, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Liumo? If no, I have one. I see that you have a lot of like experience in organizing that kind of camps. So I would like to ask you, what like advice would you give people who are first time organizing such camp in their country?
Yeah, try to split jobs between people. Don't let one person do everything, because that is not possible. Try to separate everything. One person for timetable, one person for calling presenters, one person for organizing travel, one person for communicating with media, and so on. And you can combine that, so you don't need media communication all the time. One person can do that, and maybe transportation at the end and at the start of the camp.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. How many organizers have you in Serbia for about 60 people camp?
I'm actually not sure. It's pretty like we call it stick and rope. So it's pretty much, oh, I need somebody, call somebody. We are not really organized that well. It's our mentality problem.
Is there still any questions? If not, a big thank you for having you here.
So we have another program that is really good. During COVID, we made Facebook group called Ham Radio Constructors, and we have like every 2 or 3 months Zoom or something like that Discord meeting. So we chat about it. So that is really good to share experience. And during that calls, we have around 30 or more people doing some presentations and just talking about stuff. It's same like sitting in a room and talking to everybody, but online, because we cannot be all at same place at the same time.
Is that for you?
No, everybody. But we have a lot of youth active there.
Okay, a big thank you for Team Serbia. I think I wouldn't have done that better myself. I think it was really good. Now speaking of this, how many of you would be interested in organizing some kind of camp in your own country, like during next year? Or this year?
Next week, actually.
You have a really strict timetable. Do you manage that? Great. I'm actually really happy to see this many hands going up. And I'm really looking forward to hear about all the camps that you will be having this year and next year and also in the future. So, sure.
And if you're having camps, hit us up with the YOTA social media. We'll do advertising for you. We can give you shoutouts, post your camp pictures. So send them to us on beer@hamyota.com or something. Yeah.
And also, if you meet the criteria for sub-regional camp, don't forget to apply for that. So, now you will have time for the trainer reports from the camp. What the reports are going to include? Every team is asked to send a report from the camp. So something about what did you experience here, what did you learn? A little bit more about that in the next slide. You will have now time until dinner is here. I want to see that everyone is doing something. That's why you're in your own team, so you can discuss with your own teams, but you can discuss also with people around you. So what kind of experiences they had. Just write something in English, like a report, how long ever you want. If you want to have like few sentences that you think that's okay, go for it. If you want to have 10 pages of stuff, please go for that also. So to see that everyone is working on the report, I would like to have, I want to have something to my email, like when the dinner is here. So you start working on something, and after that, send it to me with email. That's on the next slide. So you're asked to send the final report or the final version of the report at latest 1 week after the camp. Here are some ideas for the reports, what they should include or could include. There is no right or wrong. Just include what you think would be maybe beneficial for us for the future YOTA summer camps, or someone else for the camps they will be having in their own country. So ideas, for example, how was the overall experience of the camp? But or also like about the different programs and activities that we had at the camps. How were your experiences and things learned from the program? What did you learn? And most importantly, maybe, how are you planning to adapt the things into your own society? For example, if you're having a camp in your own country, you could tell that you're having or thinking about having this activity or something like that. Or maybe if you want, you can have like a few sentences from each day. What did you have? What did you learn? Something like that. And also, don't forget that you can use this also in your own society. Ask them to put it on your society's webpage, maybe. Share it on their social medias, and like that. But most importantly, make it look like it's yours. Make it look like it's made by your team. So now I will give you time until dinner is here. Please stay here, start working on it. If you have anything to ask, you can ask me. And yeah, use the ideas, work on your own ideas. Discuss with people, just write something down and send it to email there. If you don't see the email, just ask me and I will come to you write it. Any questions? Okay, please start working on the reports and we'll see when the food will arrive. Thank you.